black people that did this. About mutilation among kids, babies, men, women, burning them up. I mean, like, really? And these were young guys in their 20s. Ugh.
And these were what was left?
Young guys.
I've been trying to get in here. But, one of the things that encouraged my heart and spirit was when I was studying the Word and I learned about Jesus's history. The man Jesus. And Jesus was born into an oppressed community that was overseen by the Romans at the time. And of course he was Jewish, and Jewish were not well received or well respected by the Romans, and they were second-class, third-class citizens. And so the messages of Jesus, even though they transcend his small community of Jewish people and it's global, it was intended to send a message to oppressed people. So Jesus' message for me was very powerful because I saw myself being in this oppressed community of black people, and also women, and I needed, because of the person that I needed to have a Jesus that dealt with oppression, that was a Jesus for justice.
Yes.
And so my experience in my faith has come out of that that thing in me that needed to express my anger, my frustration with racism and sexism and all the other isms, and Jesus was my help in that. And if you listen to the words of Jesus, he's telling his people that he's trying to get them to understand that you can transcend this. You have the power to deal with this. So don't fear, And of course we all fear, but Jesus says don't fear. That the power that's in you is greater than the power that's in the world. All these messages are intended for people who are struggling, for people who are oppressed, for people who've been mistreated, for people who've been cast out and cast aside, for people who are sick. Those messages are powerful messages that Jesus wanted us to know that we are not hopeless and helpless. We are very powerful. And once we learn how much power we have and learn to use it righteously, we can change the world.
Amen.
We can change. I believe that to the nth degree. And so I try to share that with people so that they know who Jesus is, so that they can see themselves in Jesus and Jesus in them. And
it's 9:10. Have some good talking. Anything else that's really anything that's pertinent we want to have answered? If not, I think we should pray and head on home. But if there's something.
I want to thank everybody.
And thank you.
This was helpful.
Amen.
I think I could speak for everyone saying this should be a quarterly event.
This was very, very good. I was really encouraged.
Quarterly event.
I think so too. And it's good to come together and have a safe space to share and not worry about judgment or, as they say, condemnation, because God didn't condemn us anyway. There's conviction about some things, but never condemnation. And when the condemnation comes, it's not of God. So, Jay, if it ever comes, just know that God didn't send it to you. We all have gone through that, or we go through it. I experienced it today. And what I did was went somewhere, talk to somebody, help them, just to bring light to their environment, just by talking and acting silly. And when I came out, still physically tired, the depression, that spirit that was was going.
Amen.
So a lot of times you have to step outside of yourself. Another thing is this, you're already doing it. Continue to do it. And just allow yourself to feel good when you do good. There's nothing but good. So allow that to come. I've seen you work around, be around, and I see good. Allow it to manifest. It's not always the hoopla and, speaking. Sometimes it's bringing the water. You follow me? Giving somebody out there something to drink because it's hot. That's what it's about, technically. We kind of get a little caught up in the pomp and circumstance, but that's actually what it's about. So continue to do the work that God has called you for. And as you go forth, it will continue to manifest and continue to grow. And the clarity will come as you move forward. Trust me, the clarity will come. So I'm glad you were transparent, and I'm glad that I was able to be transparent to some degree, and I agree with you. We're going to talk to Prophet, and this will be a regular, quarterly. It's necessary. So thank everybody for coming. Is there anything that anybody wants to say at this point?
It's going to be quick. It's just one thing. I was out doing a homeless feeding. Guy got out of the drug deal, got robbed, got shot, and showed me his little colostomy bag. And he was like, you know what, I realized at that moment when God saved me, because it wasn't my relationship with him, but it was God's relationship with me.
Yeah.
So you hold on to that.
Amen.
But he was like, I didn't even say God. My God was my money. But he was like, he kept me here. I got this bag, but I'm here. I just want to share it.
And I just wanted to say two things. We were talking about doing good. It could be something as simple as when you're riding along and somebody needs to come out and we let them out. It could be such small things, You don't never ever know. And the other thing is about transparency. I know sometimes, and it's good to be transparent, but sometimes you can't be transparent with everybody.
Yeah.
You can't trust them like that.
Yes.
And that's where we as a people really fall short. And leaders, and that's where they get into a lot of trouble, is they want to be transparent, but they can't be transparent. They don't know who to trust.
That's it.
To be transparent with. There's one thing to be transparent out there, up there on the pulpit. There's some things I'm going to say. There's some things I'm not going to say over that pulpit. I don't trust you like that. Unfortunately, that's not a put down or anything like that, but that's why and I know that's one of the things Prophet wanted to do, was to have a sacred space where people can actually be transparent about the deep things. I can be transparent about the surface stuff, but those deep things, like what he said about having those thoughts of how I really feel about God, sometimes, how many of us really would have said that?
I would.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let nothing keep me from my deliverance. I'm just going to be real. That's just me. And I understand you're at a different stage, level, education, experience, whatever. But for myself, I know I was the type of person who wanted to go to sleep one day and not wake up. And that honesty led me to see a God I never knew before. And when I go to people, I want them to know that God. And so for me, maybe it's not your testimony, but I'm going to be real. I'm going to be grimy with it, because I have that desperation for God to be known, and I have a desperation for God to know me. I don't want him to save a image of myself that ain't real.
And that's true, but
I don't want a Photoshop relationship with God.
And I appreciate that, and I understand that. I'm just talking about from a preacher's, minister's point of view, is the transparency. Some reasons why, and I'm going to say we, because that's I'm in that category. We're not as transparent as